Coming up on City Spotlight, we are talking all things Arthur. Matt Bernius, the mayor of Arthur, and Tim Singer of the Arthur Rotary Club join me to talk about the new Public Works building, future expansion for businesses in Arthur, and highlights of the Arthur Freedom Celebration. That's all next on City Spotlight. City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com. I want to thank Matt Bernius, the mayor of Arthur, and Tim Singer of the Arthur Rotary Club for coming on City Spotlight today. Gentlemen, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Matt, thank you for being on again. And Tim, your first time on the show, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and you're a member of the Arthur Rotary Club?
Yes, I am. I'm an insurance agent in Arthur and also a farmer, and I've been involved with the Rotary Club for about 15 years.
Are you originally from Arthur? Where are you from?
Yeah, I'm originally from Arthur. Yes, lived in the area all my life, yes.
And just curious, how has Arthur, through your eyes, changed through the years?
You know, Arthur has, there's been a lot of changes that happen that people that live there might not notice, but people that come back after a few years of being away do notice, and Arthur is constantly changing. New businesses coming in, a lot of jobs in Arthur, and a lot of organizations that are really interested in promoting Arthur.
Well, Tim, thank you very much for being here today. Matt, let's talk a little bit about some budget stuff. Last time we had you on, the fiscal budget was passed for this new year right after we were done taping with you guys. Before we talk about the upcoming fiscal year, talk about this past fiscal year that finished and how it went for Arthur.
Last year we finished pretty good on budget. We've done a very good job. The trustees are very fiscally responsible. We've done a great job of managing the taxpayers' money. We've taken on some projects as well, done some things that have been long overdue. So we're heading in the right direction, and we didn't spend more than we take in, so we've been fiscally responsible. Going forward with our budget for next year, we've got some projects that we're working on, and everything looks pretty good.
No curveballs that happened along the way? Pretty smooth sailing?
Yeah, so far we're doing pretty good.
Excellent. All right, let's start with some infrastructure stuff, old and new. We'll start with the old, the water sewer department, and then we'll talk about the new public works building. But first, let's talk about what's going on with the water sewer department building.
Last November, I attended a conference in Chicago and was approached by a company that offered a service to come in and purchase water and sewer departments. I'd never heard of anything like that, but it was an interesting concept, and the more they talked, the more I thought that myself as well as the board, we're very proactive and we want to make sure that we're doing the right things for the citizens. So we looked into it, and we've currently hired a consultant. We're being very transparent with the public. If that's something we decide that looks like it's something we want to do, we'll have plenty of hearings and meetings for the public to get educated on it. I wasn't aware at the time, but there's a lot of communities that have this very thing where other companies actually own the water and sewer services. It's an opportunity to put a little money into the village, as well as pass the liability onto the new company. And in many cases, the services have actually gotten better. So don't know which direction we're going. We've got a consultant that'll tell us, educate us as well. So just being proactive and looking at opportunities to make Arthur a better place.
And is that an older building in Arthur?
This is actually the everything. Our water building is not that old, okay. And we've done, unlike a lot of the communities where they've let their things go and they're to the point where they have to sell them. We're not to that point at all. We've maintained our facilities and spent a lot of money keeping them up. What we have more problem with is the infrastructure, the pipes that are in the ground. We have more and more leaks every year, and we have a increasingly big problem with our sewers. So it's one of those things that the consultant will tell us where we're at, and it'll either be a deal where we think it's advantageous for us to sell, or point us in the direction on where we need to start putting together short and long-term plans of getting things fixed.
Is this something that you would see a decision being made on this calendar year?
Potentially, yes.
Okay, all right. Let's move on to a new public works building that's going to debut possibly this fall?
Yes, actually construction was slated to start Wednesday of this week, and it started on Thursday of last week. So our construction company is ahead of the game. Our public works employees have been working out of a facility that was very outdated, was dark, and so we have invested the money. We've tore down the other one, relocated the guys for the time being, and construction started. They're going to put up a new 60 by 120 facility, exactly where the old one was on West Progress Street. So it should allow our employees to have a better place to work. It's well lit. It'll be a safer environment, a better environment, be more productive, and we think it'll allow them to have a little more pride in their jobs. So.
Okay, that's good to hear. Look forward to seeing what it looks like. Let's keep talking about infrastructure in Arthur. And last time we talked about the hardworking labor force in Arthur. A lot of the employers are needing new employees. Can you talk a little bit about what's going on with businesses on Main Street and other areas of the Arthur area?
Yep. Main Street, I think we only have one building that's empty right now. Everything else seems to be going pretty good. They get a lot of attention during the festivals we're going to talk about later. But as far as the other jobs that in Arthur, manufacturing, I think almost all of our manufacturing jobs are currently hiring in the Arthur area. And so we're very, very fortunate that Arthur almost doubles in size during the day for people that commute into Arthur to work. So we're very fortunate. And some of those manufacturers actually have some pretty big expansion plans, so they're going to need additional workforce. So.
You mentioned expansion. Are there any other businesses you could mention that maybe are looking to expand in the near future?
I know CHI has currently got long-term plans of expansion. They've got a building that'll go up. They'll start construction later this month. I'm not exactly sure. I think Master Brand's doing some things, but it may be some more internal things. But.
Okay, and you have maybe you talked about previously before the taping of this show, some of the road work that could be leading to some future expansion or growth amongst businesses?
Yeah, the village is currently working, and we have a couple plans in place. One would be a roadway that we'll probably just do the engineering on it maybe this year, talk about expansion next year. It would allow for a business on our north end of town as well as an entrance to a future residential subdivision. So, and then we have another area that is in our TIF district that we've been working with a local owner. If we could put this roadway in, it'll allow an additional inlet into his facility, which would maybe and possibility prompt some expansion from him. So we want to be very proactive, see if we can work with the business owners, and we want to be good partners in the community. So
keep going with the building and infrastructure here. Talk about some of the residential properties and what's going on there.
The village built a subdivision several years ago, acquired the land, and we've got it divided into 4 phases. Well, phase 1 is just about full. We have 2 lots that are still available, and so we're currently looking at the possibility of a developer buying the next 3 phases. If we don't come to an agreement very soon with a developer, the village is probably going to go ahead and start phase 2. We have a lot of people looking to move to Arthur to build homes, and so we want to make sure that we have that option available to them. So
phase 1 is done. You said it's a 4-phase thing. Do you have any timetable or idea of when you'd like it complete?
All 4 phases? It'd be great if we could have them all done, within the next few years. But we're not naive enough to. We know that it takes time. It took several years for the first one to fill up. We do have a lot more people moving to Arthur because of our businesses, because of the community, because of our school system. So it's probably right now it's probably one of the most times we've seen in the past that where our housing is actually growing pretty fast. So we're going to look to do something pretty quick.
And Tim, let's bring you into the conversation. Let's piggyback what he's talking about there, the growth and people wanting to move to Arthur. Tell me, in your opinion, in the years that you've been in Arthur, why would people want to move to Arthur?
Well, Arthur's always been a progressive community. It's a clean town. The village has always done things to keep infrastructure up. and now with the manufacturing business in Arthur, their jobs are there for people to come to Arthur. So I know when I was young, people in Arthur went to Decatur and Mattoon and Champaign and different towns to work, and now it's coming back our way, and people are coming from Decatur and Mattoon and Champaign to Arthur to work. So, there's a lot of opportunity there.
Okay. And you're a member of the Arthur Rotary Club, and it's festival season. Strawberry Jam, I know, just recently concluded. And a big event coming to you guys is the Arthur Freedom Celebration. I know the Rotary Club does a lot of work for that. Before we get into that, tell us a little bit about the Arthur Rotary Club.
Well, the Arthur Rotary Club, I think, was started in the early 50s, I believe, and has always been involved in the community. In years past, not really, really out front, but they did, they were businessmen in the club, and they did a lot of things, and they had a scholarship program and things like that. And then, I'll say 20 years ago, when the Rotary Club took over the Arthur Fireworks, is when we really kind of got out front in the community and started doing more things to benefit.
And that's something you guys work on, I would say, one ends and then you start working on the next one.
Right.
Talk about that process of start working toward the next one.
Okay, well, a little background. One of our members, Mark Jones, actually got the Rotary Club involved in the fireworks. The fireworks, were just like a tradition in every other little town in America. Basically, after the ball tournament on the 4th of July, the firemen would go out and light them with their flares and have a small display there. And Mark had his display in his backyard, and his rivaled the one that the current sponsor had. So they naturally asked him to become involved. He got the Rotary involved, and we now have a professional company that does the actual show, and so it's progressed a long way. The Rotary Club brought in other clubs and organizations to participate also, so that the Rotary Club and other clubs actually, with whatever activity they do, they make enough money to pretty much budget the whole year for whatever projects they want to do.
And we're going to have a little feature on this year's Freedom Celebration toward the end of the program. Anything new this year that I myself or our viewers will see?
Yeah, well, if you've never seen it, there's no other show like it in this area, I'm sure, and I'm not really familiar with any other place that has the things we have. Like I said, we have the professional company that does the fireworks show itself. Plus, we have a group of local people that had started a few years ago. They call themselves the Falls Fellows. We have a 500-foot Niagara Falls, along with fireballs that are ground displays, and then also we have the Rural Patriot who rides a horse and carries the American flag through the fire. So that's pretty unique. This year, some different things. The fireworks company actually has some new technology where the fireworks are more closly simulcast with the music, which is on the broadcast over the radio with Fox. So,
okay.
So there's some new technological things that will happen also.
And that whole day, Matt, from the parade to the fireworks, what is that like for Arthur and the people that come to see it?
It's a busy time of year, it's a busy event for us. We start with the parade in the morning, then the festivities, and there's a lot of other things that are happening out at the park. And like you said earlier, a lot of the other groups put together concession stands and other vending things out there, and it's an opportunity for the whole community to share and benefit on the people that are coming to Arthur to share in our festival. So it's a really neat deal, and there'd be plenty for people to do all day.
Okay, I'll get to my last question, and it's kind of a broad spectrum question. I'll go with Tim and then Matt. Something you're looking forward to as we wrap up 2015 here, the latter half. Obviously, the Freedom Celebration you're very excited about. Something else you're looking forward to in Arthur this year?
Well, there's as you know, there's something in Arthur almost every weekend. starting, when the weather gets nice, and of course the Cheese Festival is a big one, and the Mennonite Relief Sale is a big one, and there are other activities, a barbecue competition then in October. So if people can contact the Association of Commerce or get on the website, and they can see the list of everything that goes on. But like I said, there's something going on almost every weekend.
Matt, you talked about the festivals a lot. Anything else that you're kind of particularly on the radar that you're looking forward to?
Just moving forward, we'd like to get the as far as festivals, I hope we finish them all strong and safe, and everybody comes out and has a good time and enjoys themselves while they're in Arthur. As far as from the city standpoint, we've got the Public Works building that we hope to get finished up and move in sometime August, maybe September time frame. So a lot of other projects going on, and just hope we can work on them and everybody stays safe, and we continue to be a progressive community.
Okay, I want to thank both of you for coming on City Spotlight. Matt Bernius, the mayor of Arthur, Tim Singer of the Arthur Rotary Club. Thank you, gentlemen, for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And coming up next, we'll have some sights and sounds from the 2015 Arthur Freedom Celebration. But first, let's take a look at some of the upcoming activities going on in the Arthur area. The 2015 Arthur Freedom Celebration had people from across central Illinois and as far away as Florida come to Arthur for this annual tradition held the week before the 4th of July holiday.
For Arthur. We love to make this event one of the largest in central Illinois. We like to bring in about 40,000 people to our area. It's a great family event for people, very family friendly, so they love to be able to come here and spend the day with their family. Not only are they doing the parade and the fireworks, but they're going around our town and our area.
We come out every year for this, just to enjoy the festivities, and it's good to be part of the community like that. It's here, local, fun. Get to see a lot of people from days. A lot of people have moved on. We come back to town for this, so we get to hang out with some old friends again, and just fun. We get to see a lot of new faces too.
PJ Rogers of Charleston is a food vendor who has been selling French fries for 33 years. Rogers has been coming to the Freedom Celebration for the past decade.
I like people watching. It's a wonderful thing. They put on fabulous fireworks. Everybody enjoys it. Everybody's so friendly.
Oh, there you go. Nice job. Good job. There you go. He said red.
I'm getting ready to put these down in the ultimate fireball, and they when you put these are electric igniters. This gets really hot, and it'll light the black powder when you hit a button, and it'll detonate this huge fireball.
Larry Slaybaugh has been helping light up the sky with fireworks in Arthur for over 13 years.
Mark Jones asked me and my brothers to help with the fireworks. He became the fireworks commissioner in early 2000s, and so he needed some help, and he asked my brothers to help out, and we've just been helping him out ever since, and he's been a great guy to work with. He kind of gets everybody excited about fireworks. He's really enthused about fireworks, and his enthusiasm is contagious, and that's probably the biggest reason that this show is so big today. Mark Jones is the heartbeat. I never stop working on the fireworks. As soon as this show is over, I'm thinking about next year and starting to work on next year. And I just keep, in about a month before, I really start doing a lot of work, and then we actually start setting up early in like Wednesday night before the fireworks, and we set things out, and the fireballs are all built on the day of the show. They're very unique. The Arthur fireworks are unique mostly because of the local involvement and the local support, and also I think this community feels strongly about trying to celebrate our country's freedom in a great way. We're proud to be, we're honored to be able to celebrate this day with so many people coming in, and we want them to go home feeling proud of their country. All right, here you go, Jake. That one's done. Probably my favorite thing to do is to climb inside this fireball behind me and load it with black powder and get it prepared for the show. That's exciting. It gets kind of hot in there, but it's a lot of fun. There's a few new things. We've got a red, white, and blue fireball that we're doing for the first time. We've got a lot of liquid fireballs we call ghost mines. They're just a liquid formula, and they are the wall of fire is going to be done in this new way. So this is a wall of fire that nobody, including myself, has ever seen. So it will be amazing. 3.5 minutes. Up here, I'll shoot the fireballs, and then I'll light the Niagaras, and then the Rural Patriot rides out, and it's in front of the Niagaras, and it's a symbol of freedom. People love the Rural Patriot.
I love the way he does that.
Gabrielle Morrow of Arthur has been a regular attendee of the Arthur fireworks.
I've been coming for 28 years now, and we just come every year. My mom's boss was in charge of it at one point, so it's a great thing to come with my family. Oh, it's great. My 3-year-old just loves the fireworks, and for him to be able to grow up and see the same things that I was able to see, it just makes me happy to know that he gets to be involved with all the excitement as well. They put on a spectacular show. It's wonderful. The fireworks and just all the extracurriculars that they have going on. The town is very welcoming, and they usually have so many different things going on in town that the businesses are good to go to as well. It still surprises me, for us being such a small town and us getting so many thousands of people coming, it still surprises me. We watch, we live on the main street, and we watch every year at the end to try to watch everybody get out. It's comical.
It's a great honor to be able to host an event like this. We're excited that so many people like to come to Arthur and see this show, and we try to give them a good time. We want them to come back later. You know, we want them to enjoy themselves when they're in Arthur, because it is a great community. It's great. A lot of people in this community work hard to make things like this happen, and they work together. And I think that's what makes Arthur unique.
For a village of 2,300, when we make the village an extra large sum, I'm just impressed that Arthur can pull this off so smooth. So it's a proud thing for us to be able to say, wow, we can pull this off and everything goes so smooth for us. The Rotary Club is the leader for this, and they just do a phenomenal job, but every citizen in Arthur really does a great job, from bringing their family in to making this run so smooth, parking and everything. It's a great event for Arthur, and the whole community comes together to pull this off.
City Spotlight is on YouTube. Past episodes can be viewed on East Central Illinois towns that have been featured on City Spotlight. Just search on YouTube City Spotlight with the show number and the name of the town. Listed on your screen are the recent episodes of City Spotlight. City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com.